Hey friend, quick moment before we dive into our podcast episode because I have an announcement you absolutely do not want to miss. Better Belly VIP is officially open for enrollment, and this is the last time you can work directly with me at this price. I wasn't planning to open this many spots in December, but demand has been huge this year. I opened 10 total and already several have been taken. So that only leaves a handful left, and once they're gone, that's it. Now, listen closely because I know a lot of you wonder if VIP is actually for you. VIP is for adults and teens ages 12 plus, but we also have pediatric VIP for kids ages 2 through 12. It's for men and women, and basically, if you have a gut, you can be here. So if you or your child are dealing with constipation, acid reflux, bloating, food sensitivities, hormone imbalance, fatigue, skin issues, anxiety, or basically mystery symptoms that doctors haven't solved, VIP is where I personally take over your case. That means I analyze all your labs, I find your actual root causes, I design your entire customized health plan for you, and you this time get 2 brains on your case, me plus a Better Belly coach. This is the same process my private one-to-one clients have used to reverse years, often decades of symptoms. And right now, because it's our end of year sale, you can get $1,000 off using the code VIP1000. Just go to betterbellytherapies.com/VIP. That's betterbellytherapies.com/VIP and enter VIP1000 at the checkout page. But don't wait. The code expires December 19th or when the spots run out, and spots will sell out. They do every December. So this is the last time you'll get access to me at this price ever. So if you've been wondering whether this is your moment, it is. Head to betterbellytherapies.com/VIP, use the code VIP1000 and grab your spot before they're gone. You know that feeling when the holidays are coming and instead of excitement, your brain is jumping straight to, oh no, the food, the gathering, the questions, the stress. Everyone else this time of year may seem to be dreaming about cookies and cozy dinners. Meanwhile, you're mentally mapping out which dishes you'll have to avoid, who's going to forget your sensitivities again, and if you'll leave a meal yet again hungry, grumpy, and honestly feeling alone. Everyone else is piling their plates high with grandma stuffing and your brain is spinning. Is there anything here I can eat? Should I say something? Will I look rude? Am I overreacting? And let's be real, half the stress isn't even about the food. It's about the comments that you get. What? You can't eat this either? Are you sure you're not being dramatic? I made it gluten-free except for the breadcrumbs. You know the drill. So today I want to give you low anxiety, high clarity tips for navigating gluten-free holidays as well as grain-free and dairy-free, even when absolutely no one else is eating the way you do. We're going to talk about how to get clear on what you need before you even talk to anyone else, who's actually worth having a conversation with, why your food choices trigger other people's insecurities and how to not take that pressure on, what to say when you need support, and how to walk into any gathering prepared and confident that you're not going to feel alone and hungry at the end of this. Because here's the truth, you're not asking for anything unreasonable. You're not being high maintenance. You deserve to enjoy the holidays without any anxiety spiral. So let's get into my top gluten-free holiday tips so you can actually make the season feel fun again. Hey friend, welcome to the Better Belly podcast. If you're currently trying endless supplements, doctor visits, and diet changes to heal your mystery symptoms, you are in the right place. We're here to solve the real root causes behind your gut, hormones, skin, sleep, and brain concerns. Literally anything and everything in your body. My name is Allison Jordan. I'm a functional medicine practitioner that has supported over 150 clients just like you to heal problems that no one has been able to fix. You don't need a perfect diet or a random supplement you found on Instagram to heal. You need a proven system that heals your whole body from the inside out. That's what I'm here to share with you, episode by episode. It's time to make health easy again. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. All right, guys. So there are three steps here that we're going to talk about. And I hope that this hits people. It's the week before Christmas, and I know that there's other holidays going on, and I think that this might be in the middle of some of them, but hopefully this helps you guys. Even if it's not for this year, for the next holiday season, there's holidays all year round, to just feel a little bit more equipped in handling these conversations and interactions around food restrictions and the holidays. I've been gluten-free, dairy-free, grain-free since 2020. Prior to that, I'd been gluten-free on and off probably since I think I'd started dabbling in it in 2017. And so I've got good 5 to 8 years of experiencing this. And I actually shared this in the previous episode, but it does get better. It does. When you have food restrictions for a longer period of time, people simply adjust to it. Has been my experience that the same difficult, annoying comments you get tend to reduce. Maybe some people always give them to you, but the number of people, the number of comments, etc., go down, and the anxiety that I generally feel about the holidays goes down. But that doesn't mean that I don't remember the first few holidays where I was like, how do I have a conversation about this? Or what should I expect? Or what's reasonable? What's unreasonable? And of course, everybody else who has their own opinion on what's reasonable and unreasonable. The first place I do want to start is that it is not unreasonable that you have a sense of what foods you need to eat to feel good. That is not unreasonable. That is okay. And just because other people don't need as many restrictions, or because they are not aware of what might help them, or that they even feel confident that they're allowed or want to pursue that in their own journey, might be triggering to them that you have this sense. And so sometimes too, it can just be, there can be other factors involved. So I want to go through the 3 things that I do every holiday. And of course, the first few times, these are the most important thing. And now these 3 things are much more muscle memory. I know what I need to do. And it really helps it reduce my anxiety around holiday meals and holiday gatherings with friends and family. So here are the 3 things. Highly recommend, maybe take notes even, just jot them down. You should be able to take some of these as just highlights. And then I do have a resource for you guys at the end of this that I'm going to share with you that you can get a little document to help you executing all of this, which I'm excited to share. So number 1 is just first, I want you to become really clear with your own needs. This is just to yourself. What are your needs for the holidays? Maybe this would be a great journaling prompt. What am I most anxious about? Is it a specific party? Is it a specific house? Is it a specific family member that you might have to interact with? Or is it about maybe it's not about people. Maybe it's about, I just think I'm going to be really hungry at this meal, or I'm going to feel left out, or what is it that you are anxious about? What is it that you really want? I really just wish that I knew I had 2 or 3 things I could eat there, feel full, and feel that I've enjoyed Christmas or my holiday. What are you feel like? What are your wishes? What are your anxieties? Getting really clear with yourself. Where are you at? Because those will be the things that you then know that you can take action on, or at least need to address. And maybe you can't fully get rid of it. Maybe Uncle so-and-so is still going to be annoying to you, or your mom might not be understanding what your needs are. We can't change people, but you can at least be very clear with, okay, it's not all of the holidays. You don't hate everything. It's not like everything about that gathering. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe there's one gathering in particular you're concerned about, but it's not every single gathering you're going to have in the holidays or every single person you'll interact with. So just get really clear on what those things are. And you'll realize it is a finite list. It is not infinite. It's a finite list. Once you have that clarity, you can then now extrapolate what are some things you can do for yourself. I did cover in the previous episode from last week my top 5 tips for traveling, and they really do apply also to the holidays. But this holiday episode is going to go a lot more on the interpersonal and anxiety level things, as well as just some food strategy. But last week, I talked a lot about food strategy and how you can help reduce your anxiety by doing things like bringing your own food. So once you kind of have your list of what are you anxious about, what do you feel like you need, I really feel like this would, XYZ would help me feel better about gatherings or about that meal or about these people. Then you now can start thinking of who are the parents, spouse, friends, etc., that you may need to talk to about your food restrictions to get people on your side, to get them on board. And so once you become clear with your own needs, you can then communicate them with others. Again, so some of the mindset work with communicating them with others is that, number one, you are allowed to advocate for yourself. You can advocate for yourself, and you shouldn't expect someone else to advocate for you. You might have that person in your life who just knows what you've been going through and what your food restrictions are, and they're going to be like, hey, how can we help you? But not everyone is in a family like that. And they might actually that might be something that happens in future holidays after you advocate for yourself once, that now somebody in the family is like, oh yeah, don't you have that thing? That's actually happened to me a lot more, that after a couple years of advocating for myself, which I'm about to talk to you in some of the ways you can do that. But after doing that, now people are like, they're kind of clued in, right? Oh yeah, you have that thing. Can you just remind me what can we do? Or how can we make sure there's a couple dishes at the table that you can eat? But the other mindset piece about advocating, you can advocate for yourself, but you cannot control other people's reaction. That's on them. And I have found people react poorly to my food restrictions for so many reasons. Sometimes it's the host feeling anxious that they're like, I don't even like cooking. I'm going to be cooking all these dishes. And now I'm having to face something I don't feel equipped in. It's like asking someone to rock climb if they've never rock climbed. They might feel anxious, and then they have to do it well, like not mess up. Right? So it could just be like they don't like cooking, or it's triggering other insecurities that they have about their own health or about their own eating habits or about whatever. You don't know what it is. So all you can do is advocate for yourself very gently, very kindly and intentionally. And it's usually going to be, I do recommend most of these conversations are best sometime before the meal or sometime before like the day of. There are some strategies you can use the day of, which we'll get to, but this I find gets the best like optimal results. Again, no guarantees, can't control others, but generally the best results. So you know what you need. You're figuring out who you need to communicate with, who are like maybe some decision makers, people who are close to you, like your spouse. You then need to decide who you're going to talk to. This is just really about saving your energy. There's some family members, they're not relevant for me to talk to about my food restrictions, or they're not safe. I'm like, that person's not going to react well. I'm not going to talk to them about it. That's fine. So you really want to be thinking about what parties or events are worth saying something about. If I'm going to show up and be at a party for 30 minutes, or it's mostly a drink party and it's not even about like the meal, right? The big holiday meal where people are there for hours and you're like, I have to eat something. If it's more like a small party where it's just treats and desserts and stuff, I'm like, I'm just going to put some chocolate in my purse and I'm not going to have any of the desserts there. I'm fine. So do think about what parties or events are worth saying something about, talking to the host or talking to other decision makers. Think about who might be willing to hear, or who might be willing or safe to talk to about like your needs or desires. And then lastly, have in your mind a way that you can start this conversation with them. And what type of relationship are you in with them? Is this a good text conversation? I find most of the time that's not. Though by text, you might be like, hey, are you free right now? And then call them. Or are you going to see this person in person at some point this week? And you can talk to them. Hey, the party or the family gathering, I was thinking blank. And I actually put together for you guys 10 scripts to talk about family and friends about your food restrictions. This can apply to anything, but especially for the holidays. And this is all without guilt, drama, or turning into the difficult one. 10 really short script openers. So everything from how to ask your partner and spouse to support you in the conversation, to how to respond to family members who keep asking you, wait, you can't eat blah. Like I put them in this document. You can go through, there are 10 different scenarios and ways you can either respond to something or start a conversation with somebody, whether it's your host, your spouse, that annoying family member, et cetera, et cetera. So all of these 10 tips or 10 scripts address a lot of the different issues that come up during the holidays and can be super, super helpful. So if you want to go and get that, go to betterbellytherapies.com/scripts and you can download this resource and print it out, look through which ones are relevant for the people you're going to try and talk to, whatever you need to do. So that's your first step, is be clear about your needs, first to yourself, then you can clearly communicate it to others, communicate it to people who are safe or relevant, and only communicate about gatherings or parties that are like high priority, opposed to like smaller things that aren't as big of a deal that you maybe can't eat any of the cookies anyone brought. Number 2 is figure out who will help. So in those conversations, you'll figure out, your spouse might be like, yeah, like thank you for inviting me. Like that's actually one of my favorite scripts that was in this list of 10, is basically asking your spouse to just be on your side. Like, hey, can you back me up if conversations get awkward? Because your spouse might have nothing against your food restrictions, but maybe they're not thinking. That can be a very supportive thing. And not to like gang up or be like, hey, leave my wife alone. But just to be like, yeah, that's something that she's going through right now, and we're doing it at our house, and it's really helpful. You guys can kind of think through or talk through that. But if you just figure out who in your world is your ally, to use a word. So if someone is willing to be your ally, you can do a couple different things depending on their role in the next party or gathering. Brainstorm with them, maybe how to modify favorite family dishes. I've done this with my mom. As she's become more open to and feeling just less anxiety around my food restrictions, we're like, okay, our family favorite carrot casserole dish has butter in it and some flour to thicken it. Well, I just say, well, I know instead of flour, it has like a tablespoon of flour, we could just use tapioca starch. I think that's what we used the last year. And so we simply replaced the flour thickener with something that I could eat. And boom, that was felt like the same family dish. And there was kind of some like, wow, it tastes the same. Like some surprise from family members. You're like, yeah, but like flour is not the only thing that can make things taste good, right? But there can just be surprise. And now they feel confident that every year after this, they know how to alter this dish so that you can have that family favorite holiday dish. Not every family favorite holiday dish is easy to alter. And sometimes you just say, okay, instead of green bean casserole, can we just have some like steamed or like fried green beans that I can eat on the side? Another option is just giving someone a totally different recipe that they can do for you if they're willing. So that I've had some people react really well to that. Oh, just send me the recipe, I'll make it. Sometimes you maybe just yourself say, this is what I'm making and I'm bringing it for everybody to share. So make a large amount. And that also nets such a good response if you're willing to make something and they eat it and they're like, oh, that's so good. Whether it's pumpkin bread or a sweet potato casserole or whatever it is that you're making that you can eat, that then they also have this like, oh, that like, it just reduces the barriers and the walls that people can have around food restrictions and alternative diets of like, oh, that wasn't that big of a deal. It tasted pretty good. You're like letting them taste and see, and then it makes it easier for the next holiday gathering. I guarantee it. So I do have some podcast episodes where I give some tips on how to do alternative foods. Number 1 is episode 171, 3 dairy-free foods for creamy cheeses, sauces, and pizza. And number 2 is 5 tips to go gluten-free and grain-free with ease. Those 2 episodes are going to be in the show notes, but they are kind of a summary of different tips I've used on how to take family favorite dishes and replace it with ingredients of things you can eat. And then again, like I said, the next thing you might want to do with the host, if they aren't going to make something or alter a dish, is just split the load by making dishes you can eat, so that maybe you can't eat every pie that's over in the dessert area, but you bring one dessert that you can eat. And I find that generally with all the desserts there, usually not everyone's going to eat your pie. But if you are concerned that you're like, I want this entire whatever I made for myself, you can just be like, this is what I brought for myself. But if you want to see some of the favorite breads and dessert baked goods that my family is making for ourselves, go to betterbellytherapies.com/recipes and you can download my whole family recipe book. Toddler approved. Our 3-year-old loves it and I love it. You can also go to episode 205, which is my 5 favorite grain-free bread recipes for a healthy gut. So that's number 2, and which is figuring out who will help, talking with them, brainstorming what their role is. Are they making stuff? Are you helping them alter certain recipes? Are you filling in like, okay, what's being made and what should I bring? And number 3 is fill in the gaps yourself. This is going to be if you have a host, you don't have a good, like you're not close to the host, or the host isn't open to conversing, or they're not a safe person to talk with, just bring your own food. Just be like, this is what I brought for myself that you can enjoy. You do not have to share it. You do not have to share it. And that to me, I've seen also make great waves of positive change where people see you have boundaries. You're helping yourself. And if they feel sad that you have to eat something different, that can sometimes change the behavior for the next holiday. It's not about like guilt tripping them. It's just they observe that you like had to go out of your way to make something entirely different. And so I just say like celebrate yourself, make it fun for yourself, whether that's maybe it's buying something that you don't usually buy for yourself that's within your dietary restrictions. Maybe it's making something. When it comes to family gatherings, sometimes filling in the gaps for me has been reminding people, if they already know about our food restrictions, reminding people about it. And when I first married into my husband's family, I was like, I don't know these people really well. I don't have a great relationship with them. So I asked my husband, hey, can you send a text to everybody just reminding them? They already knew I had that, but just reminding them. And then that made me feel less anxious. That was like my action that I asked for my spouse on my behalf, just because he had a better relationship with them. I usually don't try to offload the relational requests unless it's something like that. So that then I was like, oh, I just feel less anxious. Maybe not everything I can eat, but I at least feel that something was said to give me a fighting chance that I might be able to eat more food at this family gathering. And then the backup to just bringing your own dishes is even just, let's say you're going to go to a gathering and you're pretty sure you're going to have something there that you can eat, but you're not sure and you don't want to make your own like dish yourself. I just bring backup food. I bring a protein bar. I bring a dried nut mix, dark chocolate, something that I can say, oh my gosh, this was a flop. I can't eat anything. I just don't want to be hungry at the end of the day. And so this at the end of the day makes me feel very equipped that I can move forward and not worry about what happens at this party. I don't have to worry about, will they have anything for me to eat? I don't have to worry about any of that. Yes, there might be some grief that like, yeah, it sucks that I have to go around, like have all these backup plans, or I might be sad that I can't eat the things that everybody else is eating, but at least I'm not hungry. And at least I feel that I'm honoring my own body's needs and I feel good. I like leave the party. I'm like, I don't have a headache. I don't feel bloated. I'm not going to be puffy for the next 7 days. Whatever it is, it's worth it to me. And that's felt good. One last thing here. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but the cool thing about healing your body, when you really heal it from the inside out and long term, what I have seen in my body and in many of my clients' bodies is them reporting that like, this is the story on Thanksgiving, which was a couple weeks ago as of this recording. On Thanksgiving, I accidentally got gluten twice, meaning somebody in the family was like, hey, I'm pretty sure that's gluten-free. And I was like, cool. And then I was eating it. I'm like, man, this is like, just has subtle, something tells me this isn't gluten-free. So I go back to the person who made it, but someone else like, hey, I think someone made that gluten-free. I went to the person who made it. I was like, hey, is this gluten-free? And they're like, oh no. And I was like, that happened twice. And it's been a long time since it's happened like twice to me. I mean, at all. Even at all. So I got gluten and I felt fine. I never had any issues pop up, and it was really encouraging to me. I don't think it means I don't have any gluten issues anymore, but I do feel like it just meant my overall inflammation levels in my body were so low that whatever inflammation was caused by that just didn't make a difference. And so that was encouraging to me, that I didn't go back and keep eating it because I'm like, I feel fine. But however much I did eat, didn't ruin the whole holiday. So I also don't even have anxiety about like, oh, what if something accidentally has it, or cross-contamination, etc. Now, some people might need to be more, that maybe that never happens to you with certain ingredients, that you always have to be that vigilant, or maybe you're still early in your healing process and you are going to react to accidental exposures. That's fine too. But just to say that as you really truly deal with every pathogen, and if you're not sure, if you're like, Allison, I still get symptoms even when I'm on my restricted diet, or I get symptoms immediately if I have an exposure to food, and I've never had this, like, my body isn't very resilient, I have to eat perfectly, otherwise I don't feel good. If that's kind of where you're at, you might not have dealt with all your pathogens yet, all your toxins in your body. And that is what the Better Belly Blueprint is for. That is my process to systematically go through every part of your body and find out where the hidden toxins are. And they're hidden just because you don't know about them yet. It's not obvious to you that you have a parasite, or that you have C. diff, or that you have all these things that my clients find in their lab testing that they're like, I never knew that was there. And that's what's driving their symptoms, not just their food sensitivities. And that's when you address those, that's when all your food sensitivities start actually decreasing, or you are way less sensitive to them, because you start pulling down all the inflammation in your body, not just inflammation related to food sensitivities. So if you are wanting, and if you've never gone through systematically and really healed your body A to Z, I invite you, join the Better Belly Blueprint. You can go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint, join today, start getting your testing, figure out what testing you need in module 1 with our lab chooser tool. Order all your labs wholesale inside the program. You don't need a doctor. You don't need a prescription. Order your labs wholesale pricing, which is saving hundreds on every single lab. And then get your lab results, learn how to analyze them yourselves with videos that train you on how to do that, and then modify protocol templates I've put together for you. So you can do all of this on the side. You don't have to become a doctor or an MD or go through some functional medicine program. It is something you can do quickly, and then create a plan for yourself and heal and have a totally different life. We've had a client just this week shared in our group that she put an autoimmune condition into remission. Her insomnia is gone. Her acne has cleared up. Her mental health is improved. Like, just amazing, amazing results when you fully heal your body. So if you have symptoms that are lingering, if you are still finding that you have to have a perfect diet, or even on a perfect diet, you still don't feel good, it's a huge sign to just keep looking deeper. And so you can join the Better Belly Blueprint to do that. Go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint. So that is it for today, guys. I hope this helped give you some nuggets and tools to feel equipped for the holidays. You can feel equipped for the holidays. The holidays you don't have to be a victim of the holidays. You can be empowered and confident walking into them, and low stress. And again, as a reminder, go grab those 10 scripts that I have for you by going to betterbellytherapies.com/scripts, or clicking the link in the show notes, and get all those script openers to have conversations with your loved ones, your family, and your friends about how they can support you. And honestly, I think you'll be surprised and amazed by how much closer you can feel to your family, and how much more supported you can feel and less alone in your healing journey. So that is it. I'll see you guys next week.
Hey friend, I hope you loved this episode. If you've been a fan for a while or newly loving this podcast, can you do me a favor? Drop into Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. When you leave a review, you do so much. You help me know you're listening. You can tell me what you're loving so I know what to make more of. And you help others by boosting this podcast so other people like you can find the podcast too. I mean, it's a win-win-win, right? So if you want a way to pay it forward, just go to Apple Podcasts or click the link in my show notes and leave a rating and review. And if you want some more free stuff, just head over to my free Facebook group, betterbellytherapies.com/Facebook, and you can get access to all of my free support for you, including some Facebook group exclusive stuff like my podcast episode vault, where you can search the Better Belly podcast by topic and find exactly what you need to expedite your healing. I cannot wait to see you in there. Catch you guys next week.